All right, so today, in order to deepen with ourselves, we're going to make a contract with ourselves. We're going to lay out some vows to ourselves. And it may even help to look up some modern wedding vows to sort of get the idea of, what is this going to look like? What kind of things could I say, should I say? And if wedding vows make no sense to you and that's not your thing at all, that's not your area, then okay, think of it like a mission statement, a business's mission statement that lays out the goals and the directives for the team to be together on as they move forward, as they live life, whatever, because that's what you're making that mission statement for life. Or think of it as, like I said originally, a contract where you're making an agreement between yourself and yourself. You're making an agreement with yourself on how you want this partnership to go and what you promise yourself. And you have to get detailed with it, right? I mean, just like in any agreement that you're going to sign, you want to lay out all the if-thens, and you want to get all the details in place of like, I can agree to this. Here is all the ways that this might happen or interact, and excluding these things and including these things or whatever. So make a detailed agreement with yourself. And we want it to be timeless, like vows and contracts. These are all kind of timeless. I mean, maybe not, like contracts have periods of time, but what I mean is we're not just talking about short-term goals. A mission statement is about the timeless stuff, not just the short-term goals that will get us there. Not just like, I promise myself that I'll lose 50 pounds. That's, again, one of those short-term goals. We want to get more at the root of like, what kind of relationship do you want to always have with yourself? What kind of partnership are you wanting to set with yourself that lasts forever, no matter the circumstances, no matter what things change in your life? This is how I want to be with myself. This is the relationship that I promise to have with myself. These are the goals. This is what we want, what we're going for in life, kind of thing. But there is that component of with yourself, Of course, you could start listing your timeless goals of like being successful or something like that. And of course, you really need to get detailed on what that would actually mean, because that word is very hairy. Success means so many different things to different people. So, that's just an example of the details. But what I wanted to emphasize is that it's not just about your goals in life. This is about a vow that you're making to yourself, a promise that you're making to yourself, and this is more about the relationship that you would have to yourself. So there's that little tiny difference, but it does make a difference, because it's not just life goals. This is like my vows and my promises and the relationship that I'd like to map out, the partnership agreement that I'd like to map out with myself. So it might be stuff like, I promise to have my own back. I promise that in every situation I will have my own back, meaning I'll stand up for myself. I will, even if it's embarrassing to do so because I've made an error, or here's how I'll deal with errors. I will still have my own back and realize that it was a part of the process, but I will admit my errors and still be able to grow. Or I promise to have my own back, and I know that that doesn't mean that I can't still grow. Or, I promise to have my own back even if it jeopardizes a relationship that's close to me, because, I will still be important and will stand up for myself and say what I need to say no matter what. Or I'll, have my own back even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels like I'm needy and it starts pushing these old buttons and wounds that I have of people saying that I'm too much or too needy or, whatever. Those types of things, and you might fish around in there and realize that like there are limitations. You might not be able to have your own back. You might say, I want to promise to have my own back, but only if it doesn't jeopardize my relationship with my kids or something, or my relationship with my primary relationships. I don't know, or maybe not. Maybe you want to have your own back even if it does jeopardize those things. But you might want to draw some little boundaries of what will be possible for you and what won't be. That might be a part of this. But really, it's just about asking yourself, what kind of relationship do you want with yourself in detail? And what kind of promises do you want to make to yourself in detail, And it'll definitely show you things right away. about what is important to you and which things come to your mind quickest, which things seem the hardest, which points are you really stuck over, and what have you done in the past. Of course, as you're thinking of these things, that you want to promise yourself, of course, you're going to be informed by what has not worked and worked well for you in the past, both directions. And so this is an exercise in deepening with yourself on all kinds of levels, and even just an exercise in intimacy with yourself, really making and establishing a conscious relationship with yourself and saying, here's what I want. I want to feel so comfortable in my body that, I laugh daily, or I want to feel so comfortable with myself that I can laugh at myself at any time, any place. Or I want to feel so comfortable with myself that even though I'm crying in anguish and pain and whatever, I don't ever feel like I wish I wasn't me. Or I want to be so comfortable with myself that even in moments when I wish I wasn't me, I still love me, or something like that I'm okay in all those moments. It's going to take off in a bunch of different directions, and I encourage everybody to get creative with it and just think about what kind of relationship you want to have with yourself.